Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel. Well, I've been reworking today a little bit of my stock car list for 2022, and I thought I'd share that with you. I've got 5 on the list, but I'm only going to share 3 of them with you right now because they're going to be, I'd like to do them as full detail builds, which that's a little more time consuming. And of course, with the drag cars and a couple of show themes down the road that I'm going to be working on, I've got a pretty full calendar in addition to the how-tos that I'm going to throw in here and there as well. So let's take a look at these stock cars. Okay guys, I'm really excited about what I've got on the list for this year stock car wise. And right off the bat, I want to, and by the way, these are not in any order like with the drag cars. Just because I'm showing it first doesn't mean it'll be the first thing up. You guys are going to decide some of that for me too in your comments. I want to do one of the Mercury Spoiler 2s, and I want to do it Cale Yarborough's Wood Brothers. And the reason I broke this one out instead of digging out one of those is, to be honest with you, I've got way too many of the Leroy Yarboroughs, so I thought I would do it. And I've collected up the decals over time, so my buddy Larry Corbin gave me these. These are the old power slides, got the reflective finish, if I can get the light to hit it right, kind of the mirror finish 21s that I'll be needing for that. And of course, in the last video, my stash haul, I was going to have to break out one of the other ones to get the 60-minute cleaners, because that's the version I want to do, the Daytona 427 engine model. And I was going to have to break that out of there, but this set's got them on it, so that's just great. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this. As you can see, I've already marked a lot of the mold lines and all that need to be sanded. I've already made my modification up here. This is just a really good-looking kit. It's got its flaws, but what kit doesn't? You've got to do some adjustments, and I'm sure we're all familiar with these. And like I said, I'll be doing the 427. The 429 is a hard fit. Fred Henry just discovered that. Of all of them I've ever built, I think I told him I've put one 429 in, and I had to modify the roll bars and the shock towers around the engine there. But it turns out, as I look back on it, there was 2 that I had to modify to get the 429 in. You know, the instructions, all that stuff. So this one is on the list, and this I want to do as a full detail build. The 3 I'm going to share with you. Sorry about that. I keep hitting that camera stand. I want to do these as full detail builds, and like I said, they just takes a lot more time to do. But we'll see. But this one has been on my books for a while, but I thought now's a good time to do this year, and just going back on these old kits and showing you. Next up is something that my first, and if you saw the video way back on the unboxing of this, you remember the story. The very first, I've been a Petty fan since '67. And my dad, for my birthday, I think it was my 14th or 15th birthday, took my brothers and I, and we're driving down the road, and all of a sudden we pull into this parking lot, and the sign says Petty Enterprises. And I walked in, and the receptionist was very, very nice, showed us Richard's office, the trophy room at that time. And then she said, well, you want to see the cars? And man, I was in heaven. I opened the door and stepped out in the shop, and on the right side as you walk in the door, on the right, were a couple of the white number 11s, 1971 Dodges sitting there. And on the left side, as I swung the door further open, on the left, to my left, were the Roadrunners. Oh man. So I got to walk around and speak to the guys, and I was just in heaven. But I was just wow. But I wanted to do this one for a long time, so when this came out, I got excited about it. I've already been through the kit I don't know how many times, and of course you see the decals I went with. I'm going to be doing the car I saw, the first Petty car I ever saw, the white number 11 with the white interior, and early on. But let me show you something else real quick. Those decals were in here. Yeah, they're down there. Well, I'll show you the pictures here, as you see right here. And here, to me, this was just a cool car. And I'm thinking, with that white car, the red letters, the red rims, wheels, and that white interior is just going to pop. It's going to stand out. But I want to share something with you, too. Before this kit came out, I had already started. Let me get my project box over here. I call these old shoe boxes project boxes. This is something I started back before Salvino's even announced they were going to be doing the 71 Charger. But I took one of the stock Chargers, and as you can see, I got online one of the bubble hoods, and I've got the flat hood too in resin that came from the original kit. But you can see, get this out of the way here, I have made a lot of modifications to a stock kit, and a lot of modifications. They've gone in and taken the headliner out. As you can see here, I flared that fender just, and I'm talking ever so slightly. Not a lot, just a little. Now the rear, of course, weren't like that. I've still got some putty work to do, or some sanding work to do on this. Take those vents out of the doors. And I opened all of this up. I've already cut sheet plastic that'll drop down in there. But like I said, this was all before Salvino's announced what they were going to be doing. And I was plugging right along. But I got another idea for this car. Now my dilemma is, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the Salvino body, but I had already started modifying, like I did with the Dodge Daytona. If you remember my 200 mile an hour Daytona, I had already started modifying this to build in all of the rear. I may use that body from Salvino's, and then I've still got to reconstruct all of the framework up in here. And you notice where all the brake lines and emergency brake cable and all that stuff was. Excuse me if I'm get on camera here. Slowly, with a X-Acto chisel, I got down in there and removed all of that. You can see a little bit, but you can't feel it anymore. I got a little finish sanding to do with the sanding pen, and then I'll rebuild like I did with the Daytona. You can see the sheet plastic I've got in here already, but I'll rebuild the wheel wells, round wheel wells. And I've got to, like I said, rebuild some of this up here. I may, since I've done these chassis before, I may use my own chassis and the Salvino body. And I'm not sure. I may just do it all Salvinos. And here's another one of those chassis. You see where all those brake lines or fuel lines and the emergency brake cables were that I had to remove. And that's the same thing that I did here. And this has been fun, but when I heard Salvino's was coming out with it, I set it aside and just, nah. But it's been a lot of fun to do all the modifications and all that kind of stuff. And I'll have the hood and the trunk open. And I was trying to find my deck lid there, the trunk lid. Anyway, in these pictures, you see the 71, 72, and 73 under the inside the trunk, the deck lid ribbing. I'll be reproducing that like I did with the Daytona and the Superflow car with Plastruct Evergreen channel. And I'm trying to figure out where that trunk went, but I must have taken it out to do something with it. But anyway, I'll find it. But anyway, this is where I'm going, and I sway toward the Charger being first. Not sure, but we'll see. And the last one is either going to be one of these two, and I'm going to rely on your help. All I need you to do is, well, let me tell you what it is first. I've got two sets of these decals here for the, well, I've actually got about 3 sets, but Here's two of them right here, and this is for the Fan Appreciation Tour 1992 Petty Car. And I've got several sets of these for the Lumina. Well, these were for the Monte Carlo, but I'm going to use these for the Lumina. I'll be modifying some stuff for the Lumina there too. But this is going to be a unique one because just like with a Superflow car, if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. But I want to do that level of detail to a 1/32 scale car. Don't know how that's going to come out, but let me show you what I've done so far. On the Petty car, I've got the trunk lid cut open, and I'll be redoing the ribbing in it. And by the way, you'll notice that with these 32nd scales, and I've got tons of these cars, by the way, and you can see where I've started doing modifications and adding and building in and all that kind of stuff. I've redone the fuel cell on the bottom and built the spring buckets. I don't know if you can see that stuff very clearly there. Yeah, there you go. And the A-arm supports and all of that. I filled in all of this stuff up here and then filled in the holes there, got putty on those. Cut away the dash panel so you'll be able to see the instrument panel and, or the back of the gauges and that kind of stuff. The inside here of the, I'm hoping you can, here, let's do it that way. You see how the roll bars are molded into the body. All of that's going to be removed. And if you remember the AMT and the Monogram, one had the roll cage separate, and then this one had the front and back, but then the sides were molded in. Well, I'm using parts from the AMT and from the Monogram Revell to, I'm combining them both to make one. But, and I've got the chassis for, well, I've got a Ford chassis done, and I've got a set of 32nd scale Hooters decals too, but I've got a couple of problems I'm going to have to deal with on that car before I really get wow, that thing didn't want to go back in there. Anyway, but I've done these modifications and corrections to this, to the Pontiac, but for some reason, I really sway toward the Lumina, and I've started making my modifications and stuff to the Lumina as well. But the Earnhardt Lumina, I thought would just be killer. And I'll show you a few other things. Now, by the way, for 1/32 scale, I'm going to be machining my brakes myself. But the 32nd scale seat belts from Edward. These are for an aircraft, but as you can, well, I don't know if you can see, but these things are really detailed. Got all the harness straps and adjusters. So I'll be modifying that to fit a race car. I've got a stand for the chassis to sit on, which I broke just now, which is no big deal. So the car will be sitting on that. I've already got a clock mechanism for my flywheel for the back of the engine. I'll display it like the Superflow car with the engine sitting beside it. And I just think that Earnhardt car will look really good. I'll be honest with you, either one of them is going to look great, I think. And I've got to redo some pulleys and stuff like that. I want to try to do those out of aluminum as well. And I know you're thinking, 32nd scale, have you lost your mind? Yes, I have. Just ask my wife. So, a lot of little doodads I've got in here. But I got to share with you some 3D printed stuff that I thought was absolutely fantastic. Since the engine's going to be out and displayed beside the car, I ordered these. They're 3D printed. And these headers are something. 32nd scale. And get this, they're hollow. Can you believe that? Well, I don't know if you can see it that way or not, but I don't know if it's adjusting. But these things are hollow, and they fit right up to the engine beautifully. And they're really not expensive. But I got a couple of sets of those. And I will be doing a radiator from scratch. And these are really, really cool. These were 4 to a tree, and they are Holley carburetors. You can't, wait a minute, let me see if I can lay this on something where you can see a little better. Because of the way they're printed transparent on transparent, it's kind of hard to see the barrels and all that stuff, but I don't know if you can see down the barrels or not, but this is just off the hook. But very, very highly detailed. And these again came from Shapeways. They've got some really good stuff. I also got out of France some tire stenciled, or the stencil type tire transfer things for the white or the yellow letters for Goodyear Eagle. I heard Rick Salvino say a lot of the stuff he gets is out of Europe, out of France, or places like that. And he's absolutely right. Some of that stuff is the highest of quality. It is really, really good stuff. But guys, these are the 3 main ones I want to do. The other 2 are Salvino kits. But these are the ones I want to focus on and try to get done. This will probably be the most time consuming because there's a whole lot more to make from scratch, because there's not a lot of aftermarket stuff for 32nd scale when it comes to certain specific things. Pulleys being one of them. That's why I'm going to be doing my own. But by all means, let me know what you think. If you want the 43, if you'd like to see the 43, put 43. If you want to see the number 3, then put 3. And I'll go by that. I just can't make up my mind. I'm swaying one way and then I'm going the other way. One way, then back the other way. But I'm really excited about getting into whichever one. But I do think the Baker car will be first. I've got to just make some decisions on that. But some of the vintage stuff that I did scratch built and have on the Daytona or in that same kind of era, it's just the year after. So a lot of that stuff is going to be kind of the same. So if you see anything in that, you'll probably be seeing it made again. But I really look forward to the stock cars this year too. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to go over and hit the subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. You don't miss out on anything. And God bless. We will see you in the next video.